This is the top 5 cleanest indoor air we've ever seen.
Woo! Let's go.
Yes! The particles are really low. The PM 2.5 is only 7.
Wow.
Welcome to Miami. I like this place. Wouldn't want to live here, but I like coming here. Oh, did they just like shoot another shot? It's like one that you put in the bathroom. All right, crack it a little. This is too much. It's funny that grounding is a thing. We wear these little rubber things that separate us from the earth. What is the ground anyway? I do prefer earthing to grounding. So today's the day. We flew in yesterday. We're gonna do a pod with Gary Brecka. Just as important as the podcast is the time we spent Gary not shooting the podcast. People get distracted by the pod, but no, it's a new connection. Like if Gary was coming over to sit on the dock, I would be equally excited and it'd be equally a large moment or bigger. Here, let's cross the street. All right, we just got to the Ritz-Carlton Coconut Grove. For the last 3 years, almost everywhere I go, I bring a Jaspr with me and I bring a particle counter with me. I'm gonna test the air, then we're gonna run the Jaspr for 10 minutes and retest the air. First, here's our baseline test. All right, the big two numbers are the top one, 29,000 particles between 0.3 and 10 microns. This is everything from, it could be dust, it could be mold spores, it could be allergens, it could be general pollution, there's construction over there. The PM 2.5 are the particles that are 2.5 microns in size that are the most harmful. Now you would think this would be a clean bed. We're at the Ritz-Carlton, nice hotel. Let's do a disturb sample. So I'm gonna hit the bed and see how many particles are coming off the bedding. Boom, 110,000. And the PM 2.5, which is the most harmful particle size, instead of 50, it was 667. Bedding, maybe not so clean after all. So I'm gonna turn on the Jaspr. We'll test it again in like 10 minutes, and then we'll test it again like later tonight. But I'm expecting like, even in 10 minutes, the air is gonna be at least 3 times cleaner than it is now. I'm here to give people a duh. However many people listen, and those folks are now more aware. I like speaking to people who are already kind of sensitive to the fragrances in, let's say, an Uber, but they thought they were being annoying, empowering them more. This whole thing just came to me in a vision when I was in Fort McMurray, Alberta in 2016, and we're using scrubbers in people's homes, and I was testing air everywhere. I'm like, the cleanest air I'd ever see was after a mold remediation. Yeah. And then I'd go and test regular homes. I'm like, yo, the air's bad everywhere.
Yeah.
So, and then
this is the mold capital of the world, Miami.
Wow.
Yes, it is. It is the mold capital of the world.
This is where it's really, the magic really is.
This is where it is.
And our new filter is going to be even better. We're moving to a coconut carbon instead of charcoal.
So this is like HEPA and carbon.
Yeah, activated carbon, like charcoal based though, which
Okay.
is pretty standard.
Okay.
But we're working to come, probably in like 4 months it'll be all coconut carbon.
Really?
So the cool thing is our original customers from like 6 years ago, every time they get a filter, it's new and improved.
Wow.
So we'll never change the form factor.
Okay.
So has
but no light, UVA, UVB, so you don't need that. You just use it. It's just micron size.
Very intentionally.
Yeah.
We've been doing a lot of lab testing and we've never found, I love UV for water, for surfaces, in your HVAC so mold doesn't grow there.
Yeah.
But in air doesn't have enough contact exposure time. When we drilled it, the light would cost us $8, right? It's not like we don't want to put it in and have the cool factor, but I don't want to put things in that don't work.
No, I love
so
it.
that when the air flows through.
No, it's the leanest design. It's absolutely beautiful.
Is this hyperbaric?
Yeah, it's a hyperbaric chamber.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll just come in here and relax, but I can take this out and I put that rower in here, so that rower fits down the center. So you can just drop to 2 atmospheres and exercise. And what's wild is it's really hard for me to get my heart rate up because there's just so much oxygen compression. So it's
what's the CO2 like in here?
So the CO2 will start at around 500 and it'll probably end at around 650.
Oh, it stays
680,
pretty low.
Yeah, these are CO2 evacuation. So it has a gas monitor. I set it from the outside. So they'll tell you.
This
it'll
is something
monitor.
I'm very curious
Yeah,
about.
oxygen's about 21%. CO2 usually around 600-700 when you start. That won't go above about 800 or 900. And then you have these nasal cannulas that have like 93 to 95% O2. I never use 100% O2. The only reason you use 100% O2 is like massive surface burns or maybe a diabetic ulcer. CO2 is the main vasodilator in the human body. Like a lot of people think it's nitric oxide, it's actually carbon dioxide. The reason why we get vascular at the gym is because the CO2 going back to the lung. So what that CO2 will do is like hyperdilate all of your pores and dilate all the vasculature right below the surface of your skin.
How does this fit into your rhythm routine?
So I don't do this as often anymore because I've gotten rid of the mold, metals, mycotoxins.
So good in a detox phase?
Yes, excellent for detox. It's transdermal ozone. And that third oxygen molecule, ozone's O3, that third oxygen molecule is like a missile for free radicals, for oxidative stress. So nothing better for mold, mycotoxins, for high viral loads. So this is where I was right before you got here.
Nice.
So I keep them between 48 and 54 because there's really no evidence that colder is better or longer is better. People put them at 35 degrees, get them for 12 minutes.
Unnecessary suffering.
Totally unnecessary, yeah. I mean, you get four things from a cold front. You get peripheral vasoconstriction, you get a release of cold shock proteins, you get an activation of brown fat, and you get a spike in norepinephrine and dopamine. All of that happens between 48 and 54 degrees. So 3 minutes minimum, 6 minutes maximum, that's it. I have a plunge on the balcony too, I'll use that sometimes. But that's the steam that I ultra filter. So like steaming in there is a whole different ballgame. This biocentric lighting is amazing. It's flicker free, it's constant on, there's no hertz. So that the sun is constant on. Yeah. So this is non-fatiguing to the eye. And then you set a time.
I think it's really nice.
When you want it to start to split your cortisol and melatonin. So around 8:30, it will start to raise my melatonin and drop cortisol. So by 10 o'clock, you're smoked. There's actually the water filter. See, that filters one half the house. There's one equally a size that filters the other half of the house. So that takes it through the 4 stages of RO. And then I extended this out 3 inches. So it goes through carbon and HEPA. So there's a carbon, then a HEPA, and then you see the blue light in there, and that tells me that it's working. So this is all UVA, UVB, and then there's a big blue light up here, but it's like a tic-tac-toe. It's like several stacks. It's a pretty big unit. And then the air circulates and then goes through. So apparently it's working.
It's working. It's really working. If you told me 15 years ago I was going to be in the airspace, I would have been shocked. But yeah, it was the heavy duty restoration, seeing the most critical stuff that made me realize this big problem.
How'd it go?
Yo, how'd it go? Abundantly. Abundantly. We hit it off, we had lunch with him and his parent. It was just a really nice mix of personal and business, where he had like his biohacking wing, his like personal family wing, his office wing. I kind of resonate and feel into some of that, like for what home could look like and feel like. Where you have like, some core team around. If the home's large enough and spacious enough, that home felt like a building.
Yeah.
The podcast was great. I was able to sit comfortably. He wants Jaspers across the whole place. We're gonna give Jaspers to his parents, Jaspers to his kids, Jaspers to his teams. And then we just throw down seeds and they'll water themselves. Oh, that's 10 times cleaner air. The PM 2.5 is about 9 times cleaner. Basically, yeah, 9 times cleaner. 9 times, wow. Not 90%, like 900%. The air feels great. That's why I bring these things on the road.